ナードホールズ、ケイレブとウィル、ドラゴンボールを視聴。Last time on the Nerd Holes, Krillin and Bulma find the pirate treasure. Goku defeats and eats an octopus. Krillin takes on General Blue, and Goku shows up just in the nick of time to save his friends. While General Blue is knocked out, Goku dives deeper into the cave to recover the Dragon Ball. Narrowly escaping, they head to Roshi's Island, where General Blue surprise attacks. Using his mind powers, he ties up the crew, and he leaves with all the Dragon Balls. With a little help from Purple-Haired Launch, Goku speeds after General Blue. Chaos ensues on Penguin Island, where Goku meets new friends. It looks like General Blue is blasting off again. Also, will Will's wish to the Eternal Dragon come true in this arc? Stay tuned to find out! All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another Nerd Hole Dragon Ball rewatch cast. So, this week, we are starting a new saga. We are starting the Commander Red saga. So, we are covering episode 58, The Land of Korrin, 59, The Notorious Mercenary, number 6, Toe Attacks, 61, Korrin Tower, 62, Sacred Water, 63, The Return of Goku is what we watched this time. So yeah, like always, next time we will cover the last part of the saga and do our 7 Dragon Ball questions. But this week, I'm very excited because this is some of the parts of Dragon Ball that like I really remember as a kid. And this is kind of like where the story really kind of picks up for me. The rest of it's been like really fun. And I've been enjoying watching it, but for me, this is like you're starting to see like development and like, hey, what if Goku's not the strongest person? You know?
Mm-hmm.
What if, there's a bigger threat? So it's kind of funny, Will. What happens is every time you get your last dragon wish, you wish for something that comes true without knowing, which is very interesting. Without even cheating.
Yeah, because I have no point of
Yeah.
reference.
So what did you wish? You wished for something that would help Goku get stronger.
Yeah, like
Something
help him
close
get
to that.
strong. It was like help him to get stronger, or it was like
Wanted him
have
to,
him learn something new.
yeah, learn a new power. I think specifically,
Yeah.
you kind of wanted him to learn how to fly.
Oh yeah, I did mention that. Yeah.
Well, he didn't learn that, but he did learn
No,
some new
but
things.
Yeah.
He drank some water. He ate some beans.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I was surprised. I don't remember him getting a senzu bean in this.
That was
This
very
part.
surprising. That was very
Yeah, because
surprising.
that's like a very known thing in
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z is senzu beans.
Yeah.
So Korin is where they always go to get the senzu beans. He gives them like a little bag. He grows them at the tower. So I wasn't
Wow.
sure if we were going to even see senzu beans, but yeah. Senzu beans are one of those like plot armor that get you out of like really bad situations easily, unless of course like you don't have them.
Right.
Because they replenish all of your strength and they heal all of your wounds. So they're very
Gotcha.
like powerful. They're like really overpowered, you know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they keep you fed for like 10 days or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
they don't make you hungry. Yeah.
Which seems like a huge component to like
Yeah.
Goku. Yeah,
Right. So he can just focus on like being strong and not hungry.
yeah.
Yeah, all right, so cool. So let's get into this. So
Okay,
let's do last time we did this and it kind of worked out pretty good. Let's do like an episode by episode
sure.
thing. So episode 58, The Land of Korin, Goku makes his way into the land of Korin and he meets oh, what's his name? Bora? Is that the name?
I can't remember the dad's name either. That was the issue I was having too. I don't remember. The
Uh
whole time after what happens, I was like, "What is
yeah.
this guy's name?"
Yeah, what's the kid? Do you remember the kid's name?
Like Upa, I think.
Upa. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so here's what it just says. It says in the land of Corn, Captain Yellow finds another Dragon Ball. Bora and his son Upa are fishing.
Yeah, Bora. Yeah,
So Captain Yellow, they go to retrieve the Dragon Ball. Yeah, the Dragon Ball. Yeah, so Bora, the Dragon Ball that Bora has that he gets from Captain Yellow is the 4 star. So it's the one that Goku's been looking for, which was cool. Yeah, so basically, Bora, Upa, and Goku kind of meet together. He saves Upa from the tiger guy, Commander Yellow.
yeah,
Um, and then General Red, he hires the infamous mercenary Tao. And that's kind of that episode. So it's kind of cool. You get to meet 2 new characters.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Bora was pretty cool, right? He's like a cool Native American dude. Beats up
yeah.
those guys with that spear pretty good.
It was really funny because when they first introduced him, and Oop is fine. I'm used to like the kid stuff is usually
Yeah.
like pretty jarring. They're either like really they're fine or they're like Oopa, or they're just like constantly screaming and like freaking out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, what's her name that he meets? Snow, whatever.
Snow, yeah.
Like she was fine. You know what I mean? Like there are
Oh
some
yeah.
kid characters like Chi Chi, like they're fine. But Upa I found Upa a little like too much. But I get it. He was like, he's supposed to be like, I think he's even supposed to be
Yeah.
younger than like Snow. So I get it. But it
Yeah.
was just funny. But the thing with Bora, I was like, okay. Like I saw him in the thumbnail and then it was going through and I was like, okay,
Uh-huh.
all right. Like what is this going to be though? Like why should I care
Yeah.
about him? And
Yeah.
it's when we get there, we'll talk about it. But
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, like
Yeah.
yeah. I
Well, you're
didn't
kind of
dislike it. It
picturing,
just yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, I think for you, you're probably picturing like kind of like the guy that was looking for the water, sacred water.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he was just kind of like a, one-off kind of character who had a story and that was about it.
right.
So I could see how you would think, and he is to a degree. He's not like this main character, but you get kind of
Yeah,
attached to him pretty good.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
anytime
Thanks.
that like the Red Ribbon Army shows up and they're like, "Hey, so we're taking over your land," and this dude beats him with a spear, and like he
Right.
pretty much like destroys those guys too, doesn't? Because he pins that one dude to the tree with his
Yeah,
spear,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
and then he
yeah.
leaves to like dump the bodies in the in the thing,
Hmm.
right? He's like,
Yeah,
and that's when Upa gets kidnapped.
yeah. Captain Yellow or Commander Yellow comes.
Captain Yellow,
Captain
yeah.
Yellow. Yeah, that was kind of neat. Was this the episode where he like cuts the engines and then like grabs Upa?
Oh yeah,
That was cool. I like that part. Yeah, that was a
yeah.
cool thing. I mean, not that I didn't like that Upa got kidnapped. I liked the
No, yeah,
like
no, I know what you mean.
the writers,
Yeah,
whoever come up with the idea that he should like cut the engines and like kind of glide down. It
yeah.
was
It was
cool.
pretty cool. I always like too. You get these dudes. They're just like real bad, mean, like tough guys, and then
Yeah,
immediately run away.
yeah, yeah.
So it's
Because
like,
this is
well, Bora can kill you, or you can go back and Commander Red will have you executed. What
yeah,
you,
right,
you
right.
pick, right?
Is this the one where is this the episode where he gets shot at and he like just takes the bullets? Like he just gets lit up,
I think so.
right? Because then he fights the guys,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because they all show up and they're like, your bullets have no effect on me, and they're like,
yeah.
shoot
That
him
was cool.
again. They start shooting him again.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked all that stuff.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I This is also the episode where they're like, sir, we found the Dragon Ball. It's down there by the lava.
Oh
And he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, like, all right, well, let's go get it. And they're like, how are we gonna get it? He's
That's
like,
right.
helicopter, you idiot. It's like, think I don't think that's gonna work either.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
I think the
That's right.
helicopter being above the volcano that close would do serious
Man.
damage to the volcano, but also the rope
Yeah.
would be, you know,
Oh
catch on
yeah.
fire. Wasn't that guy wearing like a fireproof suit though? At
He was
least,
wearing like
yeah.
a yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot about
So
all that. Yeah, the
yeah, and
volcano
then
exploding. Like
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it sends the Dragon Ball over to
Yeah,
Upa's
yeah.
village. And he picks it up and it's glowing, because it's super hot.
Super hot, yeah.
Yeah.
But he like protects Upa from the volcanic rocks. Like
Oh yeah.
he like
Oh, ooh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was
yeah.
I don't know. It was cool.
It's a cool story too that like that's their sacred land and they're like sworn protectors of the tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the whole legend of like, well, you if you climb the tower,
Hmm.
you get sacred water and it's a whole thing. It was really cool. I like that. I
Yeah.
like you don't um you don't often see like the bottom of the tower in Dragon Ball Z because,
Oh, after like
once
going
you can
forward.
fly, they just fly to the tower.
Yeah.
So seeing like the actual tower part with all the
Yeah.
carvings and stuff in it was I really enjoyed that. It was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. It was actually really cool.
Yeah. All
This
right.
is
So
also
then
like this is a
yeah.
also isn't this is the very surprising return of Commander Blue. He returns to the thing, right? Doesn't he?
Oh, I think that's the next one.
Is it the next one?
I think so, because this one ends with like mercenary Tao like coming into the room and then they're like surprised
Okay.
that he's wearing pink and then it ends. I think that's how the episode ends.
Oh, okay. Okay. It doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's this next episode here where he does the old tongue attack.
Okay. The tongue attack. Okay.
So episode 59 is the Notorious Mercenary. So General Blue enters the Red Ribbon base and meets up with Commander Red.
Okay.
He gives him the Dragon Radar. Red is displeased with Blue and offers him a second chance if he can defeat Mercenary Tao. He fails and the mercenary easily kills him. Meanwhile, Bora tells Goku the legend of Korin Tower. After being briefed on his target, Tao travels on a flying pillar to Korin's land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goku, Bora, and Upa are enjoying themselves. Toe storms in and Bora fights him. Bora is killed and leaves Upa in grief as Goku in anger. Yeah. So General Blue comes in all, hot to
Yeah.
trot, right? He beats the crap out of those two guys out front.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, oh yeah, you forget who I am if I'm gone too long. And he beats up those dudes.
Yes.
Then he goes in, gives him the dragon radar, and he's like, "Yeah, that's great, but don't care."
Yeah.
So like we were saying last time, it was funny. He makes that phone call, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have the Dragon Balls, but I have the Dragon Radar." He's like, "Oh, that's excellent. Come on back to the base." And
Okay.
as soon as he gets there, he's like, "Kill him, kill him."
Yeah. He does that crazy. So I mean, right? We're supposed to believe that he kills General Blue by like crushing his temple with his tongue, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
It
So
just
what
was like
is?
super surprising that like he makes it all the way back.
Yeah,
Like Commander, what's it? General Blue comes all the way back, and he's like, I was just like, wow, okay, so this guy is like not stopping. Like, you're right, he's still a thing. Like, he's not an irrelevant character. And then that happens, and I was just like,
yeah.
oh,
Well,
also,
yeah. How do
and the
you show
eyeball
that
thing,
like General Tao is really dangerous if like the dude that Goku barely beat is taken
right?
out very easily?
Yeah, and I like that the blue, his like paralyzer move like didn't
Yeah,
work on him.
didn't do anything. Yeah,
So this is the interesting thing about him, about Tao, is that
yeah.
he it was like I really like him and his design, but I
Hmm.
kind of like the thing that was like it kept taking me out of it, and I think maybe that's the point for like a children's thing. But I kept being like, was when he would turn, they would show the back of him, and it would say like
Kill you.
"kill you." And I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, like it's just I
Like,
don't know, it's just very
yeah,
silly.
yeah, we get it. It was really funny. Even later on when he has that Taylor like remake him a new one, it still has like make sure you get
Yeah,
this on the back.
right. Yeah,
Uh, uh yeah.
yeah.
I just typed in General Taos and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's not it. It's it's
Mercenary
mercenary.
Tao.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so he's very much, you know, based on like those old like Japanese
Yes.
movies,
Yeah.
old
It also,
wise, martial art
yeah.
guy.
I liked I liked that he was like super simple. He reminded me a lot of like Master Roshi, like being very unassuming,
Hmm.
but like had all of this like great power. And that was kind of interesting. But the thing honestly that made him he kept getting more interesting is because like he would do something and then it would be like, oh, hmm. Like that's kind of a neat it was just kept being like that's a neat thought. So like obviously the tongue thing was like weird, but it was like
Yeah.
it was cool. And then later when he's talking to the Commander Red and the other guy, like the henchman, he he's like, oh, he they're like, oh, do you want a helicopter? Like, do you want like a means of travel? And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, he's gonna. I thought he was just gonna like fly or run really fast or something. And then he just walks over to this column and he's just like, I think he does. I think does he like kicks it and then goes up and like pokes it and then lands back down and then like takes it
Hmm.
off and then like throws it. And I was just
Yeah, he
like,
does like
oh,
he like pokes the top and then doesn't he kind of like kick the bottom?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
then it just
pretty
launches. It was pretty wild.
it's
I was
pretty
like, what
rad,
is it?
yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I as much as he's like a bad character, it was like they kind of made him kind of interesting.
He's a cool character. He has a great voice actor too
Yeah.
that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. I think that's
Uh
I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, I know well, I know at the end of this episode is like what really is bad.
Yeah.
because this is where
Sorry,
Goku shows. Oh,
I was just looking up to see like if the kill you on the back of his thing was different in
oh,
Japanese.
Japanese.
Doesn't seem like it. It seems like the direct translation from the Japanese was kill you. So, because then he uses that
Nice.
catchphrase too, right? It was pleasure to kill you or nice to kill you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, no, it's not. I was just curious. Yeah. So, yeah, he jumps on
yeah,
that tower thing and flies all the way. He does the math too. Remember, he does the math. He's like, let's see, that's
yeah,
6,000 miles.
yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Which direction, right? Yeah,
Yeah. And it was like perfect. It lands like perfectly right in front of the tower, you know.
yeah, like right
So
where they
that's
all are,
very, yep.
because that's where Goku had shown up, and he's learning. He finds which was cool. He finds his grandfather's Dragon
Yeah.
Ball from because it was in the volcano.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
And he
was
kind
kind
of
of cool.
tells Bora like the whole story of like why they're after the Dragon Balls and all that stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So then yeah, how did you expect like that was gonna be the outcome of this episode?
No,
Like just
no,
complete devastation?
no. Mm-mm. I thought he was just gonna, just gonna fight. Well, because the two things I didn't know was that there was like a greater point to the tower, this like pillar, because I didn't know there was like a house at the top of it. I
Hmm.
thought it was just like a giant like sacred Native American like pillar that went to like space essentially,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
like a totem pole. You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And um, and then when Tao lands there with the pillar, I just figured him and Goku were gonna fight, and obviously I knew it was gonna mean like I was learning because in the episode you learn they then at the episode were explaining like, well, if you climb the tower and all this stuff, like there's sacred water up there and all this stuff. And I was like,
Mm,
oh, okay, so he's definitely going to do that. But
yeah.
then when Tao came and just did what he did, I was like, oh, okay. And I think it's the next episode. I think it's the next episode. It's either the next one or the one after where I was like, oh, okay, this is like it was one of the first times in since watching Dragon Ball that I was like, oh, okay, like this is now like every action that's happening from this point forward is going to be like one big arc
Oh,
where
yeah.
not like everything else has been like hit and miss and like the stories don't make any sense, but like they've been very much like this thing is happening, but now like the story was all coming together and
Hmm.
becoming like super focused in this one
Yeah.
area.
It's very focused on like this
Yeah,
for the next like few episodes.
but the thing I really enjoyed about it was the fact that like everything that had happened like had led to this moment. Like the
Hmm.
journey, it made sense. It wasn't just like he ran like Goku randomly just this just randomly happens.
Yeah, right.
And it was the same thing with like Tao. It was like I was like, well, why isn't this guy been a thing before? And it's like, well, yeah, the reason why is they don't think Goku's that big of a problem, so they keep sending
Yeah.
their own guys.
Yeah.
And Tao costs like a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
right, like that's the whole point of
Yeah.
him.
Right.
So I was like, okay, so they don't. That's why you haven't seen Tao like earlier in the series.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, if Tao is a strong enough, like, person where if he wanted to just learn now, like, they're telling him about the Dragon Balls, now he could just take the Dragon Balls
True.
because he's kind
Yeah.
of a
True.
wild card, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what's cool about this arc is like the whole beginning of Dragon Ball, you're learning like, okay, Goku's really strong, and you have all
Right.
these guys that are like, hey, this is just a kid. We're gonna just beat this kid. and they
Right.
like lose very easily.
Right. Right.
So now this like, this new big bad guy, he comes in and he just like, no,
Yeah.
no, he's not gonna be like beat by Goku.
Right.
So the next episode is where they fight, but this episode ends with him killing Bora.
Killing Bora. Right. Yeah. And that was
And
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I don't remember that happening. But that end card, right? The art style where it's like
Oh.
Goku like running, like he gets mad and he's running towards Tao and does like
Yeah.
that freeze frame is like such
Yeah.
a classic like end end card
Oh yeah.
like that animation style is very much like it gets you hooked. Like I got to see what
Yeah.
happens next Saturday.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Totally.
Like if you were a
100%.
kid, like yeah, you'd be like, oh man, because you want Goku to
Yeah.
beat him up.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So to me, that's like classic Dragon Ball Z. That like what's gonna happen next week, and it's like that freeze frame on like Goku, like ah.
Yeah. Totally.
That's pretty cool. So episode 60, Tao attacks. I keep saying Toe. Um, so Goku fights Tao, takes a severe beating. A Kamehameha wave has no effect, but it
Oh
burns all
yeah.
his
Yeah.
clothes off.
Yeah.
Angered Tao fires a lethal beam, the Dodon Ray at
The
Goku.
Dodon Ray.
Dodon? Yeah. Tao takes the Dragon Balls and taunts Upa before making his leave. Tao heads to a town to get a new outfit while Red tells him that he is one Dragon Ball short. Upa has buried his father
Yeah.
and is about to bury Goku when the Red Ribbon pilot lands. As the pilot tries to take Dragon Ball Goku capped, Goku beats him up and blasts
Oh
his
yeah.
jet. Apparently, Goku's grandfather's Dragon Ball blocked the
Yeah.
Dodon wave, and then Goku begins his climb to Korin Tower while Tao waits for his outfit to be tailored.
Tailored. Yeah.
That's fun. He
Yeah.
there's a
Like
lot
that
of
was a
things with
little.
Tao
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this episode. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's just funny that it's like silly that he needs to get his clothes tailored and he goes like far away to get it done. But I
Yeah.
also like that. I don't know. It also sort of played into his character, and also I like it allowed for Tao to be away for the same amount of days, and all the
Mm,
stuff like matched up well. And I know it's just the writers like making it make sense, but I also
yeah.
thought like if this like looking at it from a thing of rather just being a TV show, like looking at it from an actual story point, like it made sense. He's like super obsessed with himself, so of
Right.
course.
Well, he's not gonna go out and not be in style.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I think he likes he think he to me he's the type of person where like he likes his gi to be like pink because it almost like invites people to make fun of him.
Yeah, yeah.
So then he's like justified in like beating him up.
Yeah, totally.
That's how he comes across. And the other thing too is it's like he uh he does everything for money because he's a mercenary, but he doesn't pay for anything.
Right.
So it's reasonable to assume that like every person who's made him a uniform has been killed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like there's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to make him a uniform at some point.
Right.
I was like that was
Right,
so kind
right.
of like okay. I get that he's a bad guy. Like we've already established that he's a
Right.
but for him to be like, yo, yeah, I'm not paying you, and also because you asked, like, now I'm gonna just kill you.
Right.
Like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you should have made you like 3 or 4 uniforms then,
Clear
dude.
to
I don't
form
know.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And when so I like he gets, Goku gets beat up pretty good. Tao
Mm-hmm.
isn't really breaking a sweat, and
No.
then he does the Kamehameha wave, and it's like, okay. And I like that Tao was like, oh, like, he was like, oh no,
Yeah.
like that's what's gonna happen. He blocks it, it burns his clothes, and I was like, oh. But like in the show, it was very sudden, and I think it was supposed to be, but I was just like, oh wow, is he's like, you destroyed my uniform, like you destroyed my clothes, like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, don't on me. It was just like immediate, like there was no like
Yeah.
him charging up, there was no, he just did it,
No. And
and I
this is
was
like a
like,
this is like a child too, and he's like uses the Dodon wave like right at his heart, like not even a hesitation, like didn't
yeah,
even care.
yeah, and I didn't think it killed him. I thought he was just like, really hurt, and then it was
Yeah.
like, oh no, he could have died, but because of the Dragon Ball, it saved him.
Yeah. Goku wakes up. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm burying you.
Hell, they're
I'm
never gonna
burying you.
find you.
You're never gonna. I like that though. I like that like the pilots come land because
Yeah,
they're like, General Red now, he's all cocky. He's like, oh well, we can just go get the Dragon Ball if he's dead. Like, no worries. He
yeah,
shows up and they show up to like
yeah,
grab the thing and Goku beats him up. It's cool though. It's cool that his grandpa saved him,
yeah.
right?
Super cool. I mean, that's what I was talking about. Like, I like the fact that when you think about it, like in the bigger scope. So Oolong wishes for the underwear. The things get separated. He goes to the tournament. Like, this is what he
Yeah.
does. It's the next logical thing. And then after the tournament and some other things, he's like, well, now I want my grandfather's Dragon Ball. Like, okay. And he goes off on this big adventure essentially to find the Dragon Ball. He ends up finding it. He's like, great. And then this guy comes, and it's like it all
Hmm.
perfectly matches up like real tightly and real nice, because it's like at any other point, that Tao guy could have shown up and
Yeah.
when he was looking for Dragon Balls and stuff.
Yeah,
So
and the thing is like if he never stood up to the Red Ribbon Army,
right, exactly.
there
Right.
never would have been a Tao.
Right. Right.
But it just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. The only thing There is only one thing that really irritated me, and it kept happening
Yeah.
when the first and I was like, oh, I didn't really think too much about it, but then it just got, and I was just like, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's like, I don't understand it. So that's what my issue was when Bora gets like killed, and he's like, Upa's like he's like burying him,
Yeah.
and then subsequently, like anytime afterwards, they would do this weird thing with the music, and the music had like this like mouth harp noise,
Oh.
but it was like Looney Tunes kind of like bouncing sound effect, like with like boing boing like that.
Goku too.
And it just like it just kept taking the like seriousness and like the
Mm.
like deadliness of the scene, like out of, like, it just took me out of it, because it's like, you're watching this tiny little kid like burying his father, and it's like boing boing, and I was just like, okay, like it's just, I didn't like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know why they were having it,
I think that was them
because
being like, this is Native American music, right?
I guess maybe, I don't know, because it wasn't like nice Japanese music where they have like those like stringed instruments
Yeah.
that,
Harps and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, it just was really, and
I
they
think it
did
was
it a
like
lot.
the Australian thing, right? The
No, it wasn't the. No, it's not the tube. It's the thing. It's the thing where they call it. They put it in their mouth. And it's called like a mouth thing.
oh, the yeah.
They have. I don't. They
They
have another
blow and
word.
then they like flick the metal reverb
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, what's it
yeah.
called? Mouth harp or
Mouth harp is how. Yeah,
yeah, let's just say that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I get.
That's really funny. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. Maybe I did, and I just kind of forgot about it.
It is kind of like a if you're not listening for it or don't hear it, like you kind of miss it, you know?
Yeah, that's funny that it like really stood out to you.
Well, it happened and I was like, okay, this is not really great. But then it just kept happening like in every episode subsequently. I was just like, why though? Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really funny.
Because I think
I
what it was is I like to your, I don't think I fully said it. Like, other than some of the tournament stuff, like this stretch is
mhm.
easily my favorite that's happened in Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I told you before we started watching it. I was like, man, I can't wait for you to watch this section because it's and I told you like, hey, if you don't love this section, like we'll just have to just fold up the show because like
Right, you're right.
because there's no point. Like, yeah, this part really
Yeah.
sucked. Where's Krillin and Bulma? Like, where is Yamcha? I love Yamcha. It's funny. Yeah, so I enjoy the ending too of this episode where, the Goku beats up that guy and blows up his plane, and Commander
Yeah.
Red like immediately knows that Goku's alive, calls Tao,
Oh
and
yeah.
Tao's like, yeah, well, I'll be back in 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just really
Yeah.
funny.
It's I also thought is it just me or did it also seem like Commander Red's like accent kind of went away?
It comes and goes so
Like it's
so
there,
frequently.
very,
Yeah. I
but
told you
he's like
not
a
to.
normal guy again. Because
Yeah.
previous, yeah, right. Because like previously, he's had like a really heavy like
Yeah.
Scottish Irish accent.
It just it comes when it wants. It's like a guy like me voicing his lines and then
Yeah.
forgetting like, oh yeah, he's supposed to be Scottish. All right, what's the next? Well, I'll read the next line. It's Scottish.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's real. It's like, all over the place.
The thing I also like too was the like that when he comes into the town and the drunk guys are like, "What's going on?" You know,
Oh yeah.
and Tao is like, um, he's like, he doesn't. I don't think he does anything to those guys, but I just like the fact that they like his reputation, even in this far off area, had like they knew who he was. And
Yeah.
then I think in the next episode, I don't think it was this episode. I think the next episode you learn that like he did something in this town, like he killed somebody or something. They make a reference to him being like they understand who he was.
Yeah. I think so. I think you're right.
Oh, it's a sniper guy. I think he has some sort of connection to the sniper guy or the guy who tells the
Oh.
sniper guy what to do.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
that's next.
there's a reason that he goes to that town.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so episode 61 is Korin Tower.
yeah,
So Goku eventually reaches the summit of Korin Tower. Goku is then
yeah,
met with Korin, who is not about to hand the sacred water to Goku. An assassin fails to kill mercenary Tao as he heads to his usual luxurious hotel to take a boiling hot bath.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Korin seems to
So,
be deceitful, not letting Goku take the bottle of sacred water. After a long, hard attempt trying to get the sacred water, Korin reveals that Master Roshi was the first to climb the tower, and it took him 3 years to get the water. So that's pretty cool, right? Like
yeah,
history of the tower, right? Like it's
yeah,
so funny. Like Roshi's done all this stuff, but he just doesn't talk about it before. Like you don't know anything about it.
yeah. He doesn't talk. He doesn't. Yeah,
Like Roshi taught his grandfather, and Roshi climbed Korin Tower, and I like that reveal though. Goku's like, man, I can't be up here. I can't be up here long, you know.
Right,
Korin's like,
right.
well, Master Roshi did it, and it took him 3 years.
Oh, yeah. So that was the next thing was at the end of this episode, he realizes he's got to get the Dragon Balls back. So it's like, how do I get them back? Well, the only way
Oh
to
yeah,
get them back is to fight Tao. And he's like, okay, but I lost the Tao.
yeah,
And it's like, well, if you climb the tower, you can get stronger. And then on top of it, Goku makes the realization that like, well, then he'll get all of the Dragon Balls and bring back his father Bora with
yeah,
the dragon. And I was just like, man, what a
yeah,
tight like story circle. I like really, really
yeah,
enjoyed the fact that it was like he was now going to do this thing because this thing happened, and then after doing that thing, he's going to do the greater, like the bigger thing that you're
yep,
basically waiting for, since all of the Dragon Balls have slowly been partially collected.
yep, yeah.
And then
Because
it
what
makes sense that
his
he's going to go to Commander Red. It's like this thing
yeah,
that it makes sense. Yeah.
his goal up until now has been finding the 4 star, finding his
Right.
grandfather's Dragon Ball. And now he has, but now somebody has died because of it. So now his goal is like, I need to bring back this kid's father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though that means like now I'll have to go find
Right.
Grandpa's Dragon Ball again.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just is a great storytelling. It just shows like how, like pure of heart Goku is,
Yeah.
you know.
I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And so even like Korin's a great character, right? I mean, he's
Hey, it was funny. Yeah.
again, he's like this old, almost like sacred being.
Yeah.
He's almost kind of like a deity in a way. He's like,
Yeah. I can see
timeless,
that. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. It
he's
was
got
pretty funny.
his little stick, his little cane thing is really
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
He's
a classic Japanese kung fu movie, right? Like, I told
yes.
you to take it. It's like, well, I'm trying to like, no, you must take it. You can take it anytime. Nope, anytime. Anytime you can take it. Anytime. If you can
Yeah.
take it, it's yours. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's cool. It's a cool.
Yeah. Roshi is Obi-Wan and Korin is Yoda. I mean, right? I mean, that's really
Yeah.
it's he's
Yeah, there's no
Yoda's this maniac when he first lands on the planet, and
mm,
then he's like,
oh,
but I'm really secretly a Jedi Master.
how do you get
You're
so
like, oh.
big eating this food?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Yeah. It's basically fun. The other funny
Yeah.
thing too is also at like Corrin's Tower, there's like barrels that show the past, the present, and the
Yeah.
future, right? Like
That
that's
was
interesting.
really. I was like, what is happening right now?
Bama. Oh, I remember
Yeah.
this.
And he's like, oh, you're so silly. And then she's just like yelling at Krillin and stuff like that because they were cooking in the kitchen.
Right. So that's the
Yeah.
present, right? That was what was happening at Roshi's Island.
Yeah. Then they specifically have him go back and look at Chi Chi, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
And I
right,
was
right.
like, oh yeah, Chi Chi. I was like,
That's
that's right.
me.
And then all of a sudden he came out of the tree and I was like, what's happening? And I was like, oh, it's just he's looking in the past. I thought these were like portals and now he was going to go talk to Cheech. And I was just like, where is this thing going?
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah.
It's interesting that
And
Bulma like almost like heard him too. She had that
well, yeah,
brief
so did
like
Chi Chi. Remember? He's like, hey, Chi Chi. She goes, huh? And then Goku comes out of the tree.
right, 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 right. Because that really happened. Yeah. So that's like it's like a loop. So he
But
like present time he said, "Hey Chi Chi," but also in that past episode he says, "Hey Chi Chi," and comes out of the tree.
oh,
So
okay.
it's like
Oh, okay.
this weird
I
thing.
was
But
because I was wondering if we went back to the episode when he comes out, like, is there audio of him saying, "Hey, Chi Chi," and then she turns around and then he comes out, like, you know what I mean? Like, were they that like?
I think so. I'll look, but I'm
That's
pretty
crazy.
positive.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. If that.
Hey, Chi Chi-Chi, it's me, Goku! Huh? What's in this one? Huh? Hey, Chi-Chi, it's me, Goku! Hey, that's me!
Yeah.
And what was the future? I don't remember the future. It was like a snake that came out or something.
Well, the weird like centipede thing ends up coming out.
Oh,
It looked
that's
like
right.
The
That's
future
what it
thing
was.
was like that weird. It was like a black area, and he kept it was. They were like bowling the Dragon Balls, and then it would show like images of like people that he knew, and then it would show like the Dragon Balls getting bowled and like smashed again. And then it would show more people.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it's weird.
It was a weird sequence, and then the centipede thing like comes at him, and then it comes out of the water, and he's like, "Oh my!" Like what's happening?
It's almost kind of saying like it's unknown, but it hinges on like collecting the Dragon Balls.
Dragon Balls, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then he hears the voice, right? And then Corn's like, he's like, oh, don't
Oh
worry
yeah.
about that stuff.
I'm up. I'm up here.
I'm up here.
And he's like, "Oh, there is a second star in Florida." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too when he goes because he thinks I don't know if he thinks it's the water, but he goes to touch the water with Bulma in it, and it like
Mm.
all of it goes away.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
and
this
then
is
so
the
up.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So then upstairs is like the little water fountain, and it's got that
Yeah,
like ornate
like,
jug on top
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
I was thinking that would be. I mean, not to cause you problems, but that would be a cool thing to make,
Yeah.
like the jar.
Learn some pottery and
Well, no, even out of foam, if you just like made like
yeah.
bent stuff and yeah, not
Yeah, it's a
powder to
cool.
actually make like
Yeah, I'll just spin it.
yeah. But no, this is the part, and I found when I was looking, I found it. It's when the two people are looking at the wall when Tao is walking into the city. There's that poster, and they say it's the 20th anniversary of Tao like being here.
Hmm.
And there's like a poster of Tao, and it's like a pinky kind
Oh
of
yeah.
thing, and it's all in Japanese. And it's like I don't know, it's like that's what they say. So he was at that village like 20 years ago.
Hmm.
Because then as he walks, that's when like the guy tells the sniper guy to shoot Tao. And then Tao just uses his slipper to like deflect the bullet backwards. And it like cuts the one guy's top of his head, and then it kills. I assume it kills the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I forgot about that. That slipper thing is ridiculous. And then the guy at
Then
the
he,
hotel seemed like very familiar with him too, you know?
yeah, right, exactly. That part too, when he gets in there and he's in the hotel and he's in the room and they're talking to him, and he's like, "Yes, your bath has been drawn," and like it was either a dragon or a lion was like the water was coming out of its mouth, and he's like, "Okay," and this thing, and when he's at the Tao is at the side of the tub and he's like looking at it, and then he goes, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, what's happening?" I thought he was gonna kill. Like I thought he was killing somebody in the room. Had like snuck into the room or something, and then he just sticks his hand in the water and like boils the water. I was like, oh. But there was a moment there. I was just like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, that's really funny. So is the end of this episode, is this the end of the episode where like the thunderstorm starts?
Yes.
Right. So that's a really cool like scene too, right? Where it flashes back to like Roshi's house and everyone's like, "Come on,
Yeah.
we're eating dinner," and he's just staring out. He's like, "No, I have to meditate out here for a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've not seen a thunderstorm like this since hmm." And at the same
Yeah.
time, Korin's like, "Yes, Master Roshi made the climb and he gave him 3 years." And like the lightning
Yeah.
crashes. Master
Yeah.
Roshi's like, I remember this thunderstorm.
And
It
then
was
he's
really
like,
cool.
harness the lightning. Yeah. I was just like, okay, all right. Like,
I
whatever.
love it.
There was a cool effect when he's standing on the beach and he has like the lightning power and it's like going like all around his
Yeah.
body
It's really cool.
and he
Yeah.
blasts it. Yeah, it's good.
Do you think that Roshi knew that it was Goku at the tower?
I think he suspected, right? That
Yeah.
would make sense that
Who
he
else
would
would
be
be up
like,
there, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that scene. I like that whole ending with the lightning storm and
Yeah.
it was just really cool. Yeah, it was really, really
And then
cool.
he's like, I'm 800 years old. Why? He's like, 800 years old.
Yeah.
How old's
All right.
Master Roshi then? Yeah.
Yeah, he's old. I think I was just reading too that like I think Tao was supposed to be like 120 something too. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
he's been killing you for a long time. Okay, so episode 62 is Sacred Water.
Yeah.
So it says Goku attempts to snatch the sacred water from Korin with his after image technique, which has no surprise to Korin. The next day, Korin gives Goku a sensu bean to last Goku's appetite and energy for 10 days. Korin
Yeah.
throws Goku's Dragon Ball out of the tower, forcing Goku to run down and back up the tower again. Goku attempts to take the sacred water while Korin sleeps, but thinks better of it. Goku tries
Yeah.
long and hard for the next 2 days to get the sacred water. Mercenary Tao uh, realizes how he wasn't able to kill Goku. Goku attempts to read Korin by mimicking his every move. The very next day,
Yeah.
Goku finally manages to get the sacred water. To his disappointment, it doesn't strengthen him, but all the exercise did him good.
Yeah. It's the same.
Tao kills the tailor who made his outfit
Mhm.
before leaving.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same thing with
Mm-hmm.
the Roshi training, right?
Yep.
How does this help us, Master Roshi? It's like,
Plus, it's also a running thing too in Dragon Ball where I think I told you before, like sometimes they'll train at like a higher gravity.
mm,
So also it's not really like explicitly like said, but because Corn's Tower is so high in altitude,
mm.
it's like an extra like strength boost because it's like low, you know,
Oh,
oxygen. So
okay.
it kind of makes sense, in a way where
Yeah.
he's training up there.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. But I love that whole part where Corin's like, you have to like suspect my movements. And Goku's like,
Yeah.
Then he lays down and he goes,
Yeah.
hmm. And he's doing he breathes like him,
Yeah.
rolls over. Oh, so funny.
And I like to, he's mimicking him laying on his side and then he falls asleep himself. And then he's like, oh, and then he like rolls back. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really funny that like Corin is so confident that he just like goes to sleep with the jug on his stick by his
Yeah.
bed, like just so unworried about it.
And it was pretty cool, honestly, to have Goku, like, when he goes over to, like, take it, he's like, no, this isn't right. I'll wait to get it. Like,
It
I'll
was
wait
cool.
to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be earned.
Right.
Yeah. I
And
like that
he's,
he used after image at first and he thought that was
yeah. Yeah.
and Corin's like, nah, nah. I've seen after image like a long time. Like that doesn't surprise me.
But this is also the scene. It really confused me, but I liked it at the same time. Is does he dream it or does he look in water again? But he sees Bulma like ha- having the gang at the island like aerobic workout. Do you remember this?
I think that
And he's like,
was
she's like, one, two, one, two.
yeah, because he gets
And
up in the middle of the night and he's hungry.
okay.
Or no,
Oh,
is he
okay.
hungry? I thought he
He
was looking for
starts,
something.
think he's
thirsty.
thirsty.
Yeah. So he went down to like look for water or something, and he opened up the thing and saw
Them
them doing
working out.
aerobics. Yeah.
But the thing that was really funny was the fact that it was blonde haired Launch was doing the aerobics, not purple or blue hair Launch. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know, just thought it was he gets the water and yeah, I don't know, it was cool. And I also felt like too, I don't know if it was this episode or the next one, but I felt like they drew Goku's arms a little differently so that it looked like he was like kind of more built. He looked more
Oh, maybe.
like more muscular, but it could just be me. But
Yeah, I
it
don't
looked
know.
like it.
Yeah, so then let's see.
Yeah, he gets the water and then basically
Yeah, but I like that scene too where he throws the Dragon Ball out the tower.
yeah.
And Goku's like, "What are you doing?" he and he like
Oh yeah.
he climbs, basically jumps
Yeah.
down the tower, and
What
then
are you
he
doing?
he finds it. He finds it, and then he climbs back up. And it only took him like half a day to get back up the tower. It took him like a day and a half the first time or
Right,
something.
right. Yeah, he
It's
doesn't like
crazy.
stop. He goes a lot faster.
He
Yeah.
sleeps on the way up. Remember, he sleeps like halfway up, like holding onto the ledge. He sleeps
Yeah,
overnight.
yeah. It's I do, yeah.
And they
That's funny.
explained why he couldn't fly the Nimbus up there, but I don't remember what the reason was.
I think it's just like that's not really the point of it, right? Like you could do it, but I don't think it's I think his Bora
Yeah, I don't
says it to
remember.
him like that's not like honorable, essentially,
Basically, like the
or
water would
something
have no
to that
effect
effect.
if you like cheated the system or something.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that dude Goku when he gets the ball, then heads back up. Upa comes around the corner and he's like, I thought I saw something, but yeah, it couldn't have been Goku.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's just carrying on with his, activities now. He's just
Yep. Oh well, just go back to
just another day.
making fire and mourning over my dead father.
Ah. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so let's see. So then when he finally gets the
But
water,
now
he
this is
drinks it.
this is where Tao, yeah, Tao returns.
Yeah. So he kills the tailor and he uses the
Yep.
same like pole.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the episode ends with him coming back, like being back at Corn Tower, or does it end with him just like flying through the air? I don't remember.
I think he throws it and then he gets on it and the episode ends.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so episode 63, The Return of Goku.
Yeah.
So, Tao arrives and bullies Upa. Goku arrives to save him and saves him.
Save Zupa, yeah.
Yeah. After some small talk, Goku demonstrates his speed and strength to Tao. Tao also happens to know the legend of Korin's Tower and the sacred water. Goku blocks most attacks from Tao
Yep.
to Upa's surprise. Meanwhile, Bulma is working on a new scout plane to assist Goku.
Yep.
Goku beats Tao. Tao's Dodon Ray singes Goku's hands.
Yeah.
So he blocks it with his hands. Yeah, that's right. So Tao
Yeah.
resorts to using swords.
Yeah.
Upa fetches Goku's power pole, and Goku breaks Tao's sword.
Yeah.
And then he kicks a stone. Goku has to save Upa.
Yeah.
And then as he is doing that, he looks up and Tao's climbing the tower.
Yeah.
And that is how the episode ends.
Yeah. I know.
So it's a pretty cool cliffhanger, right? Remember when I told you I was like, I have resorted myself to like not go
Yeah.
past
Yeah. Yeah.
episode 63 because I really want to like finish the arc now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
It's a really, really cool fight scene because when he comes back, like he really, all the stuff that like Tao goes to do, it's like Goku matches him and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't resort to anything else. He just fights him, right? He doesn't use a Kamehameha wave. He doesn't do after image. He doesn't do
Yeah,
any of that
right.
stuff. He just fights him.
Yeah.
And most of it's blocking. It's not really like Goku's on the assault. He's like defending himself for the most part. He
Yeah.
does kick him and punch him like later, but not like initially.
It's really cool because it's just one of those things where it's like the first time they fought, it was so one-sided,
Yeah.
and now it's like they're matched, you know? Even to the
Yeah.
point now where like Tao gets mad and he's like, all right, well then I'll just use this, Dodon ray again, and Goku just like blocks it with his hand, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, no, no, that doesn't do anything
He's like,
anymore.
that hurts my hands. Yeah.
It's funny too, because like Tao basically says like he knew the story of the
Mhm.
sacred
Yeah.
water, but like didn't believe that it was true.
He like he kind of it was a thing where like it reveals that like he always like yeah I know what the Korin Tower like the Tower of Korin is, but he was like this isn't it's just a joke.
Yeah.
He's like but yeah the kid is like so much more powerful that like
Yeah.
this has to be true
So
then.
he had to, yeah.
Yeah. A fun little note is
Little does he know.
I'm sure I'm interested to see what happens.
Hmm.
So say fun little note is when this aired in Japan, not in
Hmm.
America, I was 2 days old this episode.
Wow. May 20th,
Yep.
1987.
Yep. I was the ripe age of 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I was 0.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of funny.
1987. I wasn't even a twinkle
Nope.
in
Nope.
my
You had
father's eyes.
yeah, you had a couple of years before. Not too many
Yeah.
though, but close.
Not too, yeah. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
This was 87. I don't think we got this show in America until the 90s anyway.
It says the thing I'm looking at says the English air date was 2002.
What?
That's what it says. Yeah.
2002?
Yep.
Weird.
Which
Oh,
makes sense. You would have been going on 12 when it came out, basically.
November 6th, 2002?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yep.
And I wonder where. I wonder where that aired.
Well, maybe
Toonami?
on probably Toonami or yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know where else it would have aired. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, I really liked the fight with Tao. It was really cool. I'm interested in the thing that Bulma's building. That was cool.
Yeah, I don't remember that thing at all.
I thought it also was interesting that um the like staff officer guy, like his henchman guy,
Yeah.
got like kind of mad at him with the cigar thing, and I was like, I wonder if this is going to lead to something like him turning against Commander Red, like later, down the road.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wish he would.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you was when Tao uses the capsule to get like the like whatever it's called, like they're called something particular, but
Oh, those his swords. Yeah.
his sword thing.
Yeah.
Um, when he's like trying to cut uh Goku, it has like this late kind of like this laser sound effect with like bluish kind of like lightning
Hmm.
flame. And
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was an animation choice of showing him swinging it so fast, or was the sword like an energy sword? I
I
didn't know.
don't know. It probably is animation,
Okay,
is what my gut reaction is.
gotcha. Okay.
I
Other
mean, he could be using his kinetic energy to make the swords have
okay,
like an effect too,
okay.
If he can boil water with his hand,
Right. The Dodan
he
Ray and
can
all that.
basically
Yeah,
make those like laser swords.
yeah. The thing I really liked, and it was kind of like a mind, like it messed with my eyes, but I really liked it, was when he cuts and it like cuts the tips off of Goku's hair.
Oh
And
yeah.
not every single part animation, but like a lot of it, he had like the cut off tips,
Yeah.
like when he's talking and stuff. And I was like, this is really cool.
You know what else I really appreciated too about like the animation is
Yeah.
that from the episode where he wakes up and says like, "Oh, my grandpa's Dragon Ball blocked the attack."
Uh-huh.
Moving forward, he has a burnt hole in his
Yeah.
gi like the
Yeah.
whole time.
The whole time.
And I was like, man, that's really cool. Like attention to detail, like him. It's kind of like you said before, like him always carrying his little satchel of his old clothes and stuff around.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. It probably was easier to animate, honestly, because burns it burns away
Yeah.
the like
The
insignia,
the symbol.
the
Yeah.
Kami turtle hermit
Yeah.
insignia. So now it's just like they just draw like a patch of skin there. It's
They're
probably a
like,
lot
got
easier.
it. Yeah. So yeah, and then Tao goes up the tower, which was I was like kind of surprised, but also not super surprised.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, he wants whatever Goku got. Yeah, it's
Totally.
pretty cool.
Bum, bum, bum,
Pretty good
bum,
stuff.
bum, 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 bum.
And as far as I remember, Tao comes back a few times, I think.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, he's kind of a recurring character. That not that that means that like Goku doesn't beat him, but
No. I kind of got the impression the way he is that um he reminds me of the guy that in the snow thing where he had like his brothers. I forget what his name was.
oh yeah,
He reminded me a lot of that
Murasaki.
guy. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It was good. It's a really good stretch of story. Like other than the straight up like tournament stuff. Um yeah, man, I just like such a tight story. Very interesting, very well done. It made me really interested to watch the next episode because it hinged on what
Yeah,
was happening. It was a really good. I don't know. It was really fascinating, and I was like, I really enjoyed it to the
it's
point
really
where
good.
I was just saying to the point where I usually watch like one episode a day.
Yeah,
Like I pretty much so, and it was to the point where I was like almost watched like two or three episodes in
yeah,
one day. So
yeah. You gotta see what happens, man.
yeah,
Yeah, no more like. Well, I wonder if they'll find the treasure or not. Yeah, I know. I totally get that. It's just like you said, it's really good, like tight storytelling,
Yeah, very much so.
and everything comes like full circle.
Yeah. The only thing I think it's kind of lame, and I think it's the same issue you have when you watch Star Trek, is like sometimes the thumbnail, like the image spot on Funimation is like not helpful.
Oh,
So it was
yeah,
like what before, I don't know if it was Sacred Water or the Tower of Corinth, but one of them, if you go to click it and it's like the cat, he's like in
yeah,
the thing, he's like talking to this cat person. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
it's just like that type of stuff. It's like
Well, they just
I
assume everybody's seen Dragon Ball.
yeah, true. True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they do a lot. At least the one they didn't show like Upa dead. Like,
Yeah, right.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True.
Bora, yeah, Bora. Like
Bar,
Bora
I knew
wasn't
what you
just
meant,
like
yeah.
laying there. It's like
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
the land of corn and it's like Upa crying and his father's dead. I wonder what happens in this episode.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
Cool. Well, yeah, that's pretty sweet. So I am excited to cover the
yeah,
back portion of this saga.
the next five.
Yep. Yeah, and then we'll have some more predictions that may or may not come true.
Yeah, I don't know. I will. I don't know. I don't. I doubt. I doubt. Eventually, I'm not going to be close. Eventually, I'm going to be like this thing, and you're like, that's not going
No. Mm-mm. Not a chance.
to happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm
We'll see though,
excited.
because it depends on how it ends. Because if it doesn't end the way I think it's going to end, then it'll change my answers.
Yeah. I hope
Mm,
so.
mm, 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 mm.
All right. Well, that's it for us. We will see you guys next month when we cover the second half of this. And we'll see, hopefully we'll see General Red's downfall.
Yeah, we're going to finish Commander Red Saga, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I told you not to stand next to me. Told you. All right. We don't have like
Dodan
a
Ray.
we have like a nerd hole sign off, but we don't have like a Dragon Ball sign off.
No, never. And we never will.
I'm very on brand this morning. I got my nerd hole shirt
Mm-hmm.
and I'm drinking coffee out of my favorite Dragon Ball Z mug.
Oh. 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 All morning. In between all the pauses.